Miss Martin uses in a new microphone. Please let me know, Precious, how this sounds. Let me know in the comments or in the chat because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see how this works. I know that you all helped me out with this and I think it's great, but yes, it is midweek and that means it is time for midweek musings. That means it is Wednesday. That means we have a hump day. Yes, we do. And of course, life can't be boring because why would life be boring when it can be totally messed up and crazy and frightening? So, yay, here we are on the world stage where there is a lot going on. So, please, everyone, come in. Let's say hi to each other and let's muse. Well, several things going on today. The Holy Father is in state. He is lying in state. So, yay. If you are in Rome or are so inclined to go over to join in the fun, go ahead and fly over there. One of these days I might, but it is not this time. It is Chrysanthemum, another flower. Hello, thank you for being here. So good to see you. Let me know how the microphone sounds because I have no idea how it sounds. This is my first attempt at this new microphone. So let me know. Yes, so he is lying in state, and people are coming along in the Vatican to see him. A lot of people lining up. It's typical to pay tribute. We actually recently had another papal funeral just a year or two ago when the Holy Father Benedict the 16th passed away. So we all know what is good. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. She says my microphone sounds good. So as always, corporate press media is doing their little spin. I've been telling people if you can help it, don't pay any attention to any of it. Don't even watch it. One of my personal favorites is he's showing, how he's breaking with precedent and showing his love for the poor by being in a plain wooden coffin. It's like, you mean like every other pope, at least in recent memory? Now, they would probably try to say, well, no, wait. He took out the little lead thing inside of it. It's like, no, but it's still a plain coffin. So that's nothing new. Oh, he cared for the poor, unlike other popes. It's like, no more, no less. He was, for lack of a better word, maybe a better virtue signal. This is not to take away anything from any good deeds that he did. But on the other hand, it's not like it's news. It's not like he's different. It's not like he's better. And if the mainstream is praising someone, maybe that's a cause for concerns. Like, why? Why? What is their agenda? What is it? And I think a lot of it has to do with demoralizing people. That's presumptuous. Yes. Yes. And just like in a lot of situations, is it really him or is it everyone else doing it? Because just look at John Paul II. Look at Benedict XVI's funeral. We just had it. Are they right, though? Maybe they are. Maybe they are right that people have such short memories that they're not going to pay attention to what we just saw before our very eyes. Or, in my humble opinion, they're trying to send subtle messages. They're trying to shape a narrative, and a lot of it is to make you demoralized. They do not have the church's well-being in mind. I promise you, they hate her. Okay? They always have, and they always will. Chrysanth says the media doesn't need to put a spin on church politics. It's already brutal enough as is. That's right. And you want to talk about some Game of Thrones? Holy crud! Yes, it's bad enough. It is bad enough as it is. But the reason why they're trying to put their spin is their spin. And remember, a lot of times these messages, they're not for the bad people, if you will, in the world, or maybe not the bad people, maybe the people that don't like the church. It's for the people who love the church that they're trying to demoralize. They're already trying to tell us, oh yeah, the next pope's going to be this, and that, and this. I remember when they did that with John Paul II. So just my recommendation is to try to stay away definitely from the corporate media. And if it sounds like BS, it is BS. Okay. And just like all things, just because they acted like they liked the Holy Father Francis, they didn't. When they were praising him, there was a reason for it. Let's see. 5th generation psychological warfare. Exactly. Holy, yes. Yes. And let's just give one more yes for fun. Hey, Salty Traveling Sea, I'm using my new microphone, the one that you recommended. So let me know how it sounds. Everyone is here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it's psychological warfare. First, well, as far as who the next pope is going to be, nobody knows. Okay. It's it's not like it was with himself, with Pope Benedict the 16th, where it was pretty clear that he was the front runner going in and no one was really surprised. Well, let me put it this way. I was surprised in the sense of I was like, wow, I can't believe it. Thank goodness. But yeah, we don't know. It's pretty much an open playing field. And again, a lot of the talk about, well, Pope Francis, he appointed all these cardinals. It's like, that's, I think, an attempt to demoralize. We don't know what these people are going to do. And someone pointed something out very clearly. I forget who it was. It might have been Raymond Arroyo. It might have been somebody else. That a lot of these guys are middle of the road. They're politicians, but just because they were appointed by Francis doesn't mean that they were necessarily on Francis's side, or at the end of the day, you think that they might fear the fires of hell. It's like saying that there was never a so-called liberal cardinal during the pontificate of John Paul II. Now, some of his appointments obviously had issues because you're talking about, well, he was far too lenient with McCarrick. He undid a lot of the work that Benedict did. Oh, Salty Traveling Sea says, I think you sound fabulous. Yes, thank you. Yes. But yeah, it's all about demoralizing us. We don't know what's going to happen. I promise you, we did not know what was going to happen when Benedict, or rather Francis, was elected. Everyone, the second, no one knew who he was. Glenn Beck did a good commentary. He said no one knew who he was, but within 10 minutes, all of the corporate media were saying the same thing. So if the corporate media is praising somebody, maybe you should be concerned. Alrighty, so let's just have a quick look. Let me see. I always make sure that my messages are not showing. They are not. Now let's have a look at the procession, which, oh my gosh, had Gregorian chant. That's why I get a little cranky. It's like rules for thee, not for me. But in any case, here we go. Very beautiful procession of very beautiful music. You're going to see a lot of really good traditional music, the best of the church. And I really wish that we would be permitted for the laity to be able to have this, because it is something that definitely brings us together, and nothing says Catholic quite like this. So here we go. Here he is coming from St. Peter's Basilica, into St. Peter's Basilica, and he is lying down in state. So, we pray for him. May he rest in peace. And even if perhaps it's not your thing, you don't necessarily have to be a Roman Catholic for sure to know the effect that he will have. There are several aspects, of course, of who the Holy Father is, who the Pope is, and one of them is a world leader. He is a politician. That's the worst part of him, if you will, the lowest part, but it is true. But we also saw that if you're a politician, if you're a bad politician, there is such a thing as a good politician. If you're a bad politician, we've seen the danger that it can do. You need to know some diplomacy. So hopefully we will have someone a little stronger in this, but also you notice that he did get a little bit in lockstep with the world, sadly, in many of his personal opinions that he used his position to broadcast. So it is something that will affect other people. So pay attention. And because the church is culturally and artistically a guardian and a creator of some of the greatest art, Western civilization, if you will, music, art, culture, that secular part of her, if you will, even though it uses religious themes, that's also something to keep in mind. And I think that that's why people are just so hell bent. Um, People that are not of goodwill, so hell-bent at destroying it, and they don't like it. They don't like the beauty, they don't like the great music, they don't like the great art, they're trying to make it ugly, and that's why during this pontificate, there were some interesting choices, let's say, we'll make when it came as far as art, because it's like, "No, no, we need to keep the great," and of course, one of the greatest works of art, one could argue, even though obviously it's something that is holy and religious and all that, is the Latin Mass. Agatha Christie said such a good defense of it, even though she wasn't even a Catholic, she was a Church of England, and trying to suppress that, trying to make that less accessible when it's something that's just so beautiful is just something that should be a cause of concern. But definitely a lot of great art. I mean, who goes to the Vatican to see a crummy work of art? No, people go to the Vatican, they want to see Michelangelo, they want to see the Sistine Chapel, they want to see the Pieta, all right? All right, everyone's saying, "Good morning. Good morning, Rachel, Percy, Art." Mr. Grant Gregory AI is here. What are we talking about now? Well, we're just talking about the Holy Father. The Pope is lying in state, and a little bit about why even if you are not necessarily Catholic, even if you don't like the Catholic Church, it is definitely something to keep in mind because it is a cultural force and it is a cultural force for Western civilization and a lot of the trappings of Western civilization. In many ways, the guardians of the best of civilization. So that is something to keep in mind as we go through this. And we're talking about like, is it more than a billion, nearly 2 billion people around the world? That's a lot. That's a lot of influence. Also, in many ways, so goes the church, so goes the world, or vice versa. So just, keep our eyeballs open. Greek letters dude is here. Hello. I've been to the Vatican just for the art. Exactly. Yeah. You go there to see the art. You don't want to go, let me see something ugly by someone unknown. When you go to the Sunday masses always use the great music of the church. It's that's works of art too. Performing art. Oh, just so beautiful. So beautiful. Hello, Desolation, California. Thank you for being here. Salty Traveling Sea has a legit question. A legit question. Does the Vatican have a gift shop and can someone get me a t-shirt? They do have not necessarily gift shops. They do have a shop where you can get things. I'm not sure if they have t-shirts though. Probably not. For example, you can get like rosaries, books, medals. When I was there, I got some things that were Vatican-y there. T-shirts, I don't know, everyone Google, but yeah, you can get a t-shirt, you can make your own. I mean, technically, it is a country, so just like anything else, you can get something. I sent a postcard from the Vatican just so that everyone could see it had the timestamp or the little stampy thing on it and the stamps. There are plenty of shops, yes. It's kind of a small place. Not inside the Vatican, you have to get outside the Vatican. Oh, okay. What was it outside the Vatican? I could have sworn inside there was like a little stand, but it's been a long time. I was there in 1994. That time I was able to see John Paul II. Yeah. I know what you mean though, the little gift shop outside of it, because I did go there as well. Salty Traveling He says, someone went to the Vatican and all they got me with his lousy t-shirt. Yeah, I know. That they could have just getting you something really cool with the Sistine Chapel, but nah, they just got you a crummy t-shirt. Mr. Grant Gregory says, when you go through the gates, do not buy from the first guys there. It's a scam. Oh, that is true. Yeah, there's people coming around with things. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Maybe they were all scams. But yes, people are shameless no matter where you are. And same with Barcelona. Barcelona's better in my humble opinion. Yeah, it can be pretty shameless. Greek letters, guys. There are shops parametrically of the Vatican with souvenir. Technically, you're in Italian soil. Yes, maybe that is to what I was thinking. And super fun but dangerous, says Salty Traveling Sea. I had to choke out. Oh, a pickpocket in the metro. Great food though. Yeah. Yes, I remember back in the day It's the thing, you just learn really quickly you've got to be, quote, unquote, "rude." Someone comes up to you, you just gotta ignore them. If they get really pushy, you've gotta be kind of really pushy back, and because they're looking for people to be polite. Because if you're polite, then what happens while you're distracted, then you that's when you get pickpocketed. You just can't be nice when you are traveling. It's sad, but it's the reality of life. Alright, let's see what else is going on. Oh, we're wondering if he got his stuff back. Great food though on the metro, yeah. I don't know if I would use any of those nowadays. The last time I was in Paris was 2016, and it was still safe to go on the subway. I don't know if it's a situation there like it is on New York. Now, New York was never the best place on the planet to go on the subway necessarily, but it wasn't out of control the way it is now. Greek letters guys say also, if you happen to visit Rome, don't miss polpetta sandwich shops. Oh, yeah, food was unbelievable. Oh my gosh, was the food good. Puts us to shame. Alright, well, what's the sequel to the story? Salty Traveling Sea says, "Totally didn't get my wallet because it was in my front pocket, but felt him." Ah, other writers slapped him around too and tossed his Roma butt, oh, I thought you said Rome. Oh, I understand. Out at the next stop. Okay, yeah, we're not talking about Rome, we're talking about Spain. Paris, you mean oh dear. Well, that's what I'm saying. I talk about throwing away Western civilization. And Greek Lyrics guy says an Italian pizza is way better than the American or any other pizza. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, even their spaghetti, I don't know what they do to it, or maybe it's like what we have here in the United States. That we have too many things in our food, and maybe RFK will make Italian food Italian again. Yeah, I'm seeing what Mr. Grant Gregory says. Gonna kind of stay away from that, but there is definitely a culture of pickpocketing around these places. So just be careful. Just don't be stupid. Let's see. Is that my? Is that my ex? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're not. We're gonna stay away from that. We're just gonna show. Oh, you can see him inside the Vatican here, and there's gonna be lots of little ceremonies. We're in the 9 days of mourning. I've been doing litanies and things, prayers for the dead, and it also maybe makes us meditate on our mortality, or people, if you do have a loved one who is dead or dying, maybe this will maybe would be a good time to turn your heart and mind to them. I'd settle for better donuts. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. So, so that's that. Update on our Pope Watch. I guess we're not quite in Pope Watch yet, though we are. If that makes sense. Yes. We shall see. We did determine that Cardinal Burke, the one I like the most and have met and can testify that he is a great, great, great man. He would be great as Pope, but they probably will not elect him, if for no other reason than he is an American. I don't think they're going to elect a pope from America, at least not in any time near in the future. Also, we have Cardinal Sarah. A lot of people like him. I mean, I like him. I think he's great. He's pretty based. He would be a good pope. I don't know. Though he is from Africa, so maybe that might be something going in his favor. We shall see. Or maybe they'll be like, listen, we need to get an old-fashioned Italian one for a little bit and settle this ship a little. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Mr. Grant Gregory, AI, my uncle was a world-renowned pickpocketer for the good guys, of course. He went to Egypt and pickpocketed the pickpocketers. Ah. Blackjack, you win big, Teresa. Yes. Oh, yeah. We're going to move into Blackjack now. Blackjack, yes. Burke is not going to get it because he's totally actually a good fella. Oh, precisely. That's why he's not. And he's an American. Okay, Vatican, Greek letters guy, Vatican Square is full of pickpockets, and the Carabani can't do anything about it, and this guard doesn't care. Yeah, we need a yank as popes, some from Jersey with a no-nonsense approach and mob connections. Oh, dear. Well, someone with a little more street smart, someone that doesn't get played like a violin for certain. Well, and you get a little bit of that with Burke, but he's a teddy bear, an absolute teddy bear. So gentle. Good guy. Oh, dear. I just repeat what I said earlier. Don't pay attention to anything. For the most part, it's all just going to be conjecture until you hear Habemus Papam, and even after that, because everyone's going to start their spin. Like, remember when Benedict was elected, and immediately, they started bashing him and trying to call him the Yahtzee. I mean, all sorts of awful stuff. So that's when you knew, hey, he's going to be a great pope. Everyone the mainstream hates him. All right, let me have a quick look. I'm going to be bringing up some blackjack. Yes, blackjack is my game. I love it. Probably the best streak I ever had with blackjack, where I actually ended up like a significant amount. I was up about $950, cashed out, and used that to replace my tires. So that was like a total win. I love it. I play it for hours. Unfortunately, legally, it's a little trickier to play, so I don't do a lot of it, which is probably a good thing. I'd be broke. Or some weird gambling addict. I would just be a mess. But I do play on cruises. Like, for example, I played on the cruise last fall, and I had the most epic hand. I was the only one there because everyone else was like on shore excursions. This was a Caribbean cruise. And I'm like, I don't know, it's just Caribbean. I'm just going to stay here, go to the spa and play some blackjack. Some ports you can play play in port gamble. So I was the only one at the table. And I got like splits. I doubled down, then I would split again. It was insane. I split and doubled down several times, and finally, when it came down to it, everyone was holding their breath. The pit boss was even over there watching and cheering on. Then the dealer busted. It was so epic. It's so rare that something like that happens. Everyone was like, the dealer was excited. Everyone was excited. I couldn't believe it because I was just waiting for the dealer to get like a 21 or something, just totally screw me over. So that was probably one of the most epic things that I've ever had. But I'm going to be going on my cruise next month. I am having a lot of excursions because it's Alaska and I'm going on those excursions. However, I plan to be up all night playing blackjack. So I think I'm going to be incredibly exhausted, but I am going to be taking advantage of blackjack for sure. Let's see. Chrisant says, you're not wrong. It's just hilarious how you said it. Oh, whoops. Did I miss something? Oh, I see what you were saying about we need a yank some from Jersey with a no nonsense and mob connections. The issue is, says Mr. Grant Gregory, they want a pope who is progressive, not traditional. Yeah, which is an oxymoron. It's like, well, what do they think the pope is? And that's, I think, why it's kind of silly when they're trying to act like Francis was like above it all or something. It's like if he was quote unquote above being the pope, he wouldn't have accepted becoming the pope. All right, he was the pope. You're not wrong. Combined, Calbinieri is Italian police. Yes, thank you. And I'm doing my best Steve impression this morning. Thank you. You're not wrong. It's just hilarious how you put it. It's nothing. I'm nothing if not consistent. Mr. Grant Gregory I says JP2 was the only pope I met. He seemed nice. Yes, he was a great pope. Oh gosh, was he awesome. Yeah. He's the only one I've seen in person. I didn't meet him, but I saw him. I went to Mass at St. Peter's on New Year's Day back in 1994. Well, actually, I guess it was 95. because that's when it was. Yeah, he was a good one, and so was Benedict. Francis, he just didn't pope well. Oh, you a degenerate gambler like myself. Let's talk. I don't know about the degenerate part, but I do like to gamble. Salty Traveling Sea says T knows how to do a casino. You win, you walk. Don't give it back. Last time I was at a casino, won $50 in the first 20 seconds being there, just walked out. Darn right. Yes. Or you go in with the attitude that you're not going to win anything. I sometimes have a tradition. It's not sometimes, it's every time. If it's a tradition, it's not sometimes. Every time I leave $20 that I let ride on red for a bit on the roulette wheel. That is where you should walk, definitely. Though letting it ride is always such a danger. I always let it ride like once or twice. Sometimes it's turned out very well, sometimes it has not. I love good blackjack stories. Yes, and they actually let me take a picture of it, and I went, "Are you sure?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's fine." So I don't want to put it up here because I know that it's not cool, but maybe I'll send you a picture of it because it was so cool. It was so epic. Even the dealer had to double check with a few things to make sure he had it right. I take it that you've heard the house always wins, right? Yes, that is true. That is true. So you've got to go in with the attitude. If you win, it's like it's a bonus. It's a bonus. Mr. Grant Gregory I says, I won 14 hands in a row, hit on 18 when the dealer was showing a 10. 3 times in a row, I hit 20 and 21, then split twos and got 21. And got 2 7-card 21s. Wow, that's lucky. Though I would have hated your guts. I would have hated your guts if you hit on an 18 with the dealer. Oh, wait. If the dealer is showing a 10... Oh, wait, never mind. I would not have hated your guts. Scrap that. Scrap that. I would have hated your guts if the dealer was showing a bus card. Alaska Interpassage is remarkable, says Salty Traveling Sea. Let me know when you go. I'll wave at the ship from Port Angeles. Yay, I will. Dude, that's amazing. Okay. I would have hated your guts from jealousy. I've never been on fire so much. I never had even half as good again. Yeah, there's a reason why we have a few really good hands that we think about because, yes, the house does always win. Totally always play $10 on 5 at roulette. Tradition. Mr. Grant Gregory, Salty Traveling Sea is saying to Grant Gregory, my last real big run was in 2010. Walked out with 2,500. Never replicated it, but it's a fond memory. I totally understand all this talk. I'm experienced. Yay! I was playing the low stakes. It was $3 hands. Yeah. They don't get lower on the ship that I was on than $10. Minimum. I think there was one that was $25 minimum. But yeah. It's a thing. My goodness. So much fun. So much fun. So I'm planning to have fun doing that. See, I've been to Atlantic City exactly once, says Chrysanth, and all I did was go to the buffet. Yeah, the food is always good. At least in Vegas. All right, well, let's do a little bit of sharing here. For those of you maybe that are not as blackjacky of a thing, let me see. We're going to go to Wikipedia because, of course, we know it's completely accurate. But they do tend to get these kind of things, right? It's the most widely played casino banking game in the world. It uses decks of 52 cards and descends from a global family of casino banking games known as 21. I'm not going to try to pronounce these other ones. Now, they don't use one deck, of course. They use several decks. And they have these little machines that continually cycle through them. Though there is a part of me that likes traditional shuffling because sometimes it will mess up and it gets really annoying because then you have to wait for the machine to fix. Are we still allowed to call it blackjack? Oh, dear. My casino only uses only 52 cards. Really? Wow. Greek Letters Guy says the only positive thing I can think of for gambling on a cruise is the people you meet, and even then, it is a gamble. Oh, yes. You have a great time. There was a dude I was sitting next to all night, and someone thought we were a couple or something. They're like, "Hey, how long y'all been together?" And we were like, "Since 8 o'clock tonight." I mean, it was like, no, we were just having fun talking. You meet people, and most of the time, people are on your side because well, you're all kind of playing together. That's why if some asshole messes up on the bus situation, everyone hates them. Here's a hint: if you're kind of new to blackjack, and as you're playing, if everyone gets up and leaves the table, it means you're probably messing up. Though it's okay to ask for help, and often people around the table will help you. People tend to be very friendly. Let's see. Mr. Grant Gregory I says the main thing is now they use 6 decks and you only get through a 52 card before they do a full reshuffle trying to stop counting. Oh. Salty Traveling Sea is saying to Chrysanth, I like the great restaurant and my local casino will play maybe 303 or 4 times a year. Otherwise, I just drive by. Oh, dear. The politically correct word is Jacqueline now, I guess. Greek Letters Guy says, always skip the first half of the buffet. Always. Go from the middle and move toward the end. The first dishes are always recycled and spoiled food. Oh, well, we got buffet tips here, everybody. Yeah. I'm hearing mixed things about cruise food. It's supposed to be like top tier, but sometimes it wasn't always the best. I was on a Carnival cruise. We'll see what's going to be going on my next one. Or if you do need to get the incredible food, you need to like upgrade to where you pay for it, where it's not included, or rather pay for. We all know that we're paying for it. Well, let's see. We don't want to get into the history too much here. Let's look at the rules of play at casinos. The object of the game is to hypothetically win money by not exceeding 21 or stopping at a total in the hope that the dealer will bust. So yeah, you wanted the dealer to bust. Number cards count as their number. The jack, queen, and king. Face card counts as 10. The aces count either as 1 or 11, depending on whether or not counting it as 11 would cause a bust. And you see, that's where I get a little confused. I always have to stop and think about that to make sure I'm doing this correctly. If a player exceeds 21 points, they bust and automatically lose. A total of 21 on the starting 2 cards is called a blackjack or natural and is the strongest hand. And they just automatically pay it out when you get it. And maybe confused is the wrong word. It means that I have to hyper focus because I want to make sure that I'm not going to mess up an ace. Mr. Grant Gregory has a question. For me, it's a varied one. You got 8-8 in your hand. The dealer is showing 8. Do you split? Why or why not? Ooh. You always assume that the dealer has a 10 underneath so that they have an 18. But that means that you have a 16. Now, if you're a 16 hitter like me, I always hit on 16 no matter what. If I have split ace, dealer showing an ace, I might split, but I probably wouldn't, if that makes sense. I don't think that it's not a crime to split it, and it's not going to really affect a bust situation. But I don't think it's done too often. I don't think it's needed to. We don't want to get into history too much. Who are you and what have you done with Teresa, says Teresa. When it comes to blackjack, I wanted to go through the rules. Salty Traveling Sea says, never went on a cruise, but did the Alaskan Interpassage car ferry from Bremerton, Washington to Fairbanks. A great way to spend a week at sea and bring your vehicle up with driving the Alcan Highway. Well, there you are. It is Steve Kenobi. Hi there, Teresa. Hope you are well. I take it a certain video game has gotten you interested in blackjack of late. 2 things have gotten me interested. One, yes, Red Dead Redemption, and the fact that I'm going to be going on my Alaskan cruise in about 2 weeks, and I really, really want to start brushing up on it. But I think it's great that Red Dead Redemption is going to help me brush up on things because I plan to do a lot of blackjack. I don't split on 8s, only aces. Oh, you definitely split on aces. Hell yes, you split on aces. I've split on other numbers. It depends on what the dealer has that changes things. But yeah, the same way I think that you should always double on 11, always double on 11, always split aces. You dashing rogue. Oh, people are wow, Stieg is a dashing rogue according to Salty Traveling Sea. Mr. Grant Gregory is saying oi oi. Oh dear, a lot of love here. Steve Kenobi says, Salty, you ravishing mountebank. Hope you are well and hard at work between meetings. Oh, yes. Well, thank you. The hardest working guy. And Mr. Grant Gregory says, if you don't split on aces, then you shouldn't play blackjack. I would agree. I've seen some crazy things. My sister once saw somebody split tens. She said it hurt so badly. Right. At a blackjack table, the dealer faces 5 to 9 playing positions from behind a semicircular table. Between 1 and 8 standard 52 card decks are shuffled together. To start each round, players place bets in the betting box at each position. If jurisdictions allowing back betting, up to 3 players can be at each position. Yeah, sometimes people will come up and just kind of put their bet alongside you, and I think that's cool. I've got no problem with that. Also, I like to play for the dealer frequently. They like that. They get very happy. Oh yeah, that was the other thing that was so epic. I was playing for the dealer, and I had split the dealer's bet when that happened. The player whose bet is at the front of the betting box controls the position, and the dealer consults the controlling player for playing decisions. Other belters play behind. A player can usually bet in one or multiple boxes at a single table, but in many U.S. casinos, players are limited to play 1 to 3 positions at a table. Yeah. I've never seen anyone do more than 2 or maybe 3. Generally, the rule kind of is if there's people waiting for a spot, you should probably free it up. Technically, though, no. Salty Traveling Sea says a fool in his money like a confused Gen Z. Oh, dear. I've seen 2 players split on 10, says Mr. Grant Gregory, when the dealer's showing a 10, the other dealer card was a 10. I know, it's like, really? What's wrong with you? Oh, dear. Let me go on. Here's some player decisions. Let's go on to that. On the initial 2 cards, the player has up to 5 options: hit, stand, double down, split, or surrender. I guess surrendering, what they mean by surrender is when you stay, when you hold, because, yeah, you don't want to surrender because you never know. Once a hand has more than 2 cards, hitting and standing are the only options available. Oh, I guess you can. Help me out here. Why the hell would you surrender? Oh, because you would forfeit half the bet. Yeah. No, I don't think that surrendering is an option. Just play the game. Surrender is not an option. You cannot fold. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I've never seen it as an option, but even if it is, why? Salty Traveling Sea says, how's the game? I want it for Xbox One. Don't want to deal with Steam. I'm on Mac after decades on PC. Yeah, Steve wasn't a happy camper, I know, about certain choices. Maybe he'll talk about it here. Let's see. Greek letters guy. Oh, and if your beautiful lady comes and start chatting with you in the casino table, well, you know what they say. If it seems like a trap, then it's a trap, all right. Yeah. Watch out for those honey traps. Though, you know, you will get people buying you drinks, which is fine. So, hit means take another hard. Signal, scrape cards against the table. I was going to say in handheld games. No, you do not touch the cards in most blackjack. You do not touch it. Tap with table with a finger or wave a hand toward the body. Engage felt up. Face up, rather. Most people prefer the tap because if you do the hand wave thing, some people try to, it can sound a little too ambiguous, rather. Stand, take no more cards, also noted as stand, pat, stick, or stay. Signal, slide comes cards under chips face down in handheld games. Wave hand horizontally in games dealt face up. Yeah. Double down. Increase the initial bet by 100% and take exactly one more card. The additional bet is placed next to the original bet. Some games permit double for less, where you increase a bet by amounts smaller than 100. Non-controlling players may or may not double their wager, but they still only take one card. The signal is you place additional chips beside the original bet outside the betting box and point with one finger. I've never needed to point. When you do that, they know exactly what you mean. Salty Traveling Sea is talking about James Bond, that scenario. Split creates two hands from a starting hand when both cards are the same value. Each new hand gets a second card, resulting in two starting hands. This requires an additional bet on the second hand. The two hands are played out independently, and the wager on each hand is won or lost independently. So, if you want to understand what happened with me, I had split my things several times, and I was splitting the dealers. I was playing up, but I had to do each one at a time. It was crazy. In the case of cards with worth 10 points, some casinos only allow splitting when the cards rank the same. For example, 10-10 could be split, but K2-10 could not. Yeah, I was going to say I've only known it when it's the same. Doubling and splitting after splitting may be restricted. Oh, I've never seen that. They've let me split and double as long as I could. A 10 valued card and an ace resulting from a split usually isn't considered a blackjack. No, after the initial one, it's considered a 21. Hitting split aces is often not allowed. Oh, non-controlling players can opt to put up a second bet or not. If they do not, they only get paid or lose on one of the two post-splitting hands. And what is the signal? You place additional chips next to the original bet outside the betting box and point with two fingers into a V formation. This is where they're talking about surrender. This is, to me, has never been a thing. Forfeit half the bet and end the hand immediately. The option is only available at some tables and some casinos and not allowed after splitting. Signal using the index finger, draw a horizontal line behind the bet. Surrender can also be announced verbally. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, see, I knew he was going to answer. I am not buying the game, Salty. They removed your choice to pick a gender for your character. Woke as F. It's a body type 1, body type 2 now. Effectively, your character will be trans. No defined character. Salty says that's the whack. Oh, sorry. That's the whack woke noise I've been seeing on Twitter. How very 2018 of them studios don't like money, but they sure do need it. Yeah. I can halfway sympathize, like you're between a rock and a hard place. If you do, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Maybe if this remaster had come even a year later or they were still in development, maybe they might have made a different choice. Who knows? It's often not, though, the actual makers or writers of the game. These things come from the top. Yeah. Hand signals help the eye in the sky make video recording of the table, which resolves disputes and identifies dealer mistakes. It is also used to protect the casino against dealers who steal chips or players who cheat. Recordings can also identify advantage players. When a player's hand signal disagrees with their word, the hand signal takes precedence. I saw someone once try to say, no, I didn't hit, I meant stand. And they had to stop the game because the person wouldn't shut up. They came back a few minutes later. They're like, "You said hit." And that was it. And then the guy left. It's like, don't try to beat the eye in the sky. It's like, what's wrong with you? After the players have finished playing, the dealer's hand is resolved by drawing cards until the hand achieves a total of 17 or higher. If the dealer has a total of 17, including an ace valued as 11, a soft 17, some games require the dealer to stand while other games require the dealer to hit. And they will let you know. The dealer never double splits or surrenders. If the dealer, well, obviously, if the dealer busts, all players who haven't busted win. If the dealer does not bust, each remaining bet wins if its hand is higher than the dealer's and loses if it is lower. In the case of a tie, push or bets are returned without adjustment. A blackjack beats any hand that is not a blackjack, even one with a value of 21. A player blackjack wins immediately unless the dealer has one, in which case the hand is a push. I have had that happen where I pushed on a blackjack. It hurt so badly. Let me see. Microsoft owns Bethesda. The woke crap is required. Yeah, people are just sick of it. I mean, you can make your character however you want it to be. Like, for example, I want to play as a dude. Maybe I want to identify. Let's just say I identify that way. Nothing's stopping me from choosing the male or the female. It's ridiculous. Wins are paid out even money, except for player blackjacks, which are traditionally paid out 3-2 odds. They will sometimes allow insurance. I never take insurance. Insurance is a side bet that the dealer has a blackjack. Insurance bets of up to half the payer's current bet are placed on the insurance bar above the player's card. If the dealer has a blackjack, insurance pays 2-1. I just don't. One of the keys to playing for me is that I stay consistent. I always hit on 16. I always double on 11. I never take insurance. And they're talking about advantage percentages. It's just it's just not worth it. Just don't even think about that. I think that if you think about it too much, you will go a little bit crazy about what kind of percentage chance you have to win. Our polar friend has arrived. Oh, did I miss him? There he is. Salty Trolley C. Oh, wait. No, Sort of Poopus is here. Rachel Percy Art says, this is why I didn't buy the new Dragon Age, despite it being my favorite franchise. Oh, well, that's too bad. Interesting comment. Salty Traveling Ski is pointing out that ESG loans have very defined agenda strings. It's all for kids to reinforce the BS woke teachers push. Zero of this in China, though. Well, some woke teachers. Some of that stuff also comes from above, but I know teacher. It depends on where you are, I suppose. Most people just want to survive to the end of the day, but Desolation California says Mario Kart is cheaper than Blackjack. True story. Not all teachers, obviously. Yeah, I know. Present company accepted. I know what you mean. And that's why I'm saying I was pointing out that you said the woke teachers, the teachers that are woke. Dragon Age got completely destroyed to the core. Can't salvage a single thing from it now. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's too bad because I know how much you were looking forward to it, and I respect that you are choosing not to buy it. I can understand people that go ahead and do so anyways. I believe a lot of where people get cranky is when people insist that somebody boycott it and then they don't act consistently. That's where things just don't go well, in my humble opinion. Let's look at some things that you can do. Resplitting. If the cards of a post-split hand have the same value, most games allow the player to split again or resplit. The player places a further wager and the dealer separates the new pair, dealing a further card to each as before. Some games allow unlimited splitting, while others may limit it to a certain number of hands, such as 4 hands, such as resplit to 4. Hit, resplit, split aces. After splitting aces, the common rule is that only one card will be dealt to each ace. True. The player cannot split, double, or take another hit on either hand. Rule variants include allowing resplitting aces. Oh, you know what? Not going to even go there. No double after split. After a split, most games allow doubling down on the new 2-card hands. I'm just going to leave it there with the most. Double on 9, 10, or 11, or 10, 11 only. Under the Reno rule, doubling down is only permitted on hand totals of 9, 10, or 11. Under a similar European rule, only 10 or 11. The basic strategy would otherwise call for some doubling down with hard 9s and soft 13 to 18, and advanced players can identify situations when doubling on soft 19 to 20 and hard 8, 7, and even 6 is advantageous. Yeah, sometimes I will do that on those lower ones. It depends. The Reno rule prevents the player from taking advantage of a double down in these situations and thereby increases the player's expected loss. Yep. Always double on 11, but yeah, 9, 10, 11, 10, 11 only. Now, when they say these as being rules, to me, these are guidelines. Like, these are how I do it. No whole card and OBO. In most non-US casinos, a no hold card game is played, which meaning that the dealer does not draw nor consult the second card until after all players have finished making decisions. Yes, we do have the whole where they can look at it. It's like a little mirror thing. Okay, I think I wanted to go with strategy. That's more what I was looking for here. Let's see what's going on. Even Hogwarts game had the cringe bartender, says Talty Traveling Sea, kind of wrecked the immersion. Yeah. Archer Collins says, to be honest, I don't play any modern games, partly because I have an old PC and partly because I want to play on my PC where I can save when I want, not constantly online. People are saying hello. Let's see. You're right, Steve. Okay, I'm not entirely. I think that you're all talking game talk. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but yay, that's great. And please hit the like button. Don't be afraid to send Miss T a super chat. Oh, why? Thank you. Yes, please do not be afraid. I'm nice here. I will not bite. Basic strategy. Each blackjack game has a basic strat. Well, we know that, duh. So 4 to 8 decks. Dealer hits on a soft 17. A double is allowed after a split. Only original bets are lost on dealer blackjack. So here you have a little chart thing here. So across the top, dealer's face-up card, player hand up there. And then you have the S, soft totals, hard totals, excluding pairs. And they're telling you whether you should stay, whether you should hit, etc., etc. Double if not allowed, then hit. Let's see. It's really not worth worrying about percentages. I said this before. Yeah, when they talk about card counting, it takes obviously a lot of strategy, a lot of energy. You got to really know your stuff. In general, though, blackjack is good for you because you are doing a mental math. If they would allow kids in schools to use blackjack to practice mental math, I'll tell you, they would be sharp as a stick, or attack rather. Good stuff. You have to focus. You got to stay hyper focused, and you have to count, and you have to count quickly, and then you have to make lots of decisions, a lot of higher level learning. 2 thumbs up. Let's see. Yeah, they're talking about Arkham games in the chat, and they're talking about consoles. Oh, a very old Atari back in the day. Hell yeah. Hell yes. My goodness gracious. Steve says he wants a new Arkham game with Batgirl or Catwoman being the lead. Oh, that'd be fun. Frogger for the win. Mm-hmm. Pong. That was good times. Let's see. I said that we were going to talk about different topics. I think I put up there blackjack. Oh, piercings. We didn't talk about piercings. Yes, I got my ears pierced yesterday. Now, they had been pierced in the past, but I let them close up a long time ago. I got busy and forgot to use them, and for several years, and recently was trying, like, hey, let's put in some pretty earrings. Oops, they were all closed up. So I went to this piercing place, really high end, and I walk in with my sister, and they're like, okay, so what do you want? It's like, just my ears pierced. They're like, just one? Yeah, it's like, yeah, where? Like, right in the center of my earlobe. I was the most conservative piercing I think they've done in years. It was very simple. I just wanted them, just the basics. Apparently at that place, they will pierce anything. But that anything included my ear. So yes, I got ear piercings yesterday and got a nice, pretty, red, sparkly stud thing going. So I'll look very pretty on the cruise. But I won't be able to change my earrings, but that's okay because last thing I need is have some freak accident happen, which probably would happen to me with long earrings on a cruise. So Steek says, I still have my Commodore 64. Works. Games are on cassette tapes. Yes, I've seen you have pictures of that. Salty Traveling Sea says he had that, and the VIC 20 with a cassette drive. Brilliant. Oh, yeah, people are asking about Oblivion. Oh, hello. It is the Normal Life Form. Thank you for being here. He spoke about that earlier, about the whole body 1, body 2. Wow. All Atari, Spectrum, Amiga, and finally on to PC. Everyone's saying hello. Happy freaking Wednesday. Yes, it is because of those options. It's just a very odd thing to say. Body type 1, body type 2, because it's a slippery slope. Well, whoa, oh, you bigots, you're only saying there's 2 body types? What if we wanted 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? It's like, just stick with normal, stick with the way it is, and let other people do what they want to do. Nothing was ever stopping anyone. It's the same thing with this whole 5th edition stuff in D&D. Nothing was ever stopping you from playing the character you wanted to play. If I wanted to have a character, even with the rules that we do, we use the 3.5. If I wanted to be a transformer, I could. Nothing was ever stopping you from playing the character you wanted to be. They just feel like they need to virtue signal. One could argue, though, is it that they're feeling it, or is it that they are put pressure upon? And this is the whole reason. They always say, oh, no, it's voluntary, until you say you don't want to do it. Well, why don't you want to do it? Heck, I started noticing this, and I wasn't playing this game back in the early 90s when it was a thing to start wearing ribbons. I never did. Even if it was a cause I believed in, I just didn't like that. Salty Travels, he says body type equals the carbon they want to reduce dehumanization. Yeah, and Steve makes a good point that they are making a choice for you because essentially they're making you a transformer. But ironically, you can adjust your body shape in the character generator. Ergo, there are more than two body types. So their whole reasoning for it is void. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Wow, Salty Traveling Sea restores old Mac laptops. I have a first generation Mac Airbook that should be in a museum. It belongs in a museum. Rachel Percy-Art says, wouldn't it make more sense to have the binary gender system and then someone trans could role-play as a gender they wish they were? Well, that's what yes, and precisely. In other words, the way they kind of always have been. Nothing was ever stopping you from doing that. That makes more sense and creates less issues. And I don't know the Oblivion game, but Steve said that there's also a gender-specific mission or some outcome he was telling me about last night. Yes. Archer Clone says the thing that gets me about the whole insertion of the ideology into a game with high level magic is that, well, high level magic. Oh, that's a very good point. Rachel Percy-Art says they pushed that onto Sims 4 as well, the same dude who ruined Dragon Age. Wow. Yeah, virtue signaling is not cool. Nope. Not the same. Not the same. Bring this all full circle since we're talking kind of about Jesus and things. We were talking about the lying in state of the Pope. Jesus was not a fan of virtue signaling. Big time. He was not a fan of virtue signaling. He was like, don't do it. In religion as well as, I think it's applicable in the real world as well. I though don't even see virtue signaling anymore with all of this. I see fear, which should make people fearful. Well, look who it is. It is Salty Traveling Sea, who has given me a $1.49 super sticker. It is a rose. And sir, you're going to be the first one to see my new thing. This was from Salty Traveling Sea. Thank you very much. He made these for me. So the rose, since we are talking about Blackjack and Oblivion, you will get the rose one. Here we are. Thank you, and thank you for it. Now, let me know if the sound worked, because when I was trying to do a test, I wasn't sure if it was working or not, and I don't know why, so I hope it worked out. Transblivious is what I will be calling this remaster. I guess maybe the Sky Oblivion. No sound, really? That's crazy, because it has sound on my thing. But it wasn't when I was uploaded it. Okay, no sound. Thank you for letting me know. I'll figure it out why it wasn't. Because, when I downloaded it and everything, it had sound. And when I uploaded it, it didn't seem like it was having sound, but I didn't know if that was just me going crazy. But either way, you can all see the beautiful thing. And what you were supposed to hear was some really cool, chill jazz music. So it is really nice. So we'll work it out. We'll work it out later. But thank you. Thank you very much for the super sticker. And thank you very much for making that for me, because I kind of suck at all that. And so it's a very nice surprise. I do appreciate that. Yeah, well, I'm sorry for those of you that are disappointed. There's two schools of thought, and I don't completely come down on either one of them. Go ahead and boycott it if you want to, or not buy it. That's perfectly cool. On my side, though, no judgment if you do. The only thing is, If you tell people not to buy it and then you buy it, that's another story. Though I find that people tend to be very clever about never quite coming out and saying the words boycott. This goes to what I was saying yesterday. Maybe just don't pay attention. Just don't. It'll just make you frustrated, mad, frustrated. Just like with this whole conclave coming up, don't listen to what anyone's saying, including Catholic influencers. In many ways, they're the worst. And they make us look bad. They have just as much of an interest in keeping us stirred up and angry and fearful as everybody else. It's not okay. It's not healthy. I did a whole thing on that about Catholic explaining online trolling. We talked about Oblivious. Okay, Steek says, I have the original Oblivion both on PC and Xbox. I am still good. I am good. I'm good. Archer Clown says, it's not just the trans thing. In fact, in most games, you have a system for either magical or scientific healing, so the character can still play after injury, so why scars or disabilities? Interesting. True. I'm saying this as a genuine question. If you wanted to, though, couldn't you pull it out of your butt? It's like, oh, it took too long, so I can't be cured. Depends on the game, depends on the rules. But, I guess what I'm saying just at the end of the day, it's a game. You can play by whatever rules you want to play by. My opinion is if everyone's sitting at the table, everyone part of the game agrees on the rules, and then those are cool. It's not unlike when you're playing poker and you're like 5-card stud, aces wild, or joker's wild. You can choose. Everyone agrees. I don't know. I go between just completely shutting off all social media and keeping up with it because, I have to be. First of all, I like the YouTube format. Out of all of them, YouTube format's probably the best because it doesn't tend to have the same effect that other things like X or Instagram do. But just realize if you're getting upset by something you see on X or any other social media platform, it is probably done intentionally. They want you to, and it's not healthy. Salty Traveling says the agenda is meant to overload our adrenal flight glands. Adrenal overload really harms the body. Supplements really, really help, but so does unplugging. That's a very good point. You see, I would find myself having anxiety or even a crash, like almost depression. And you're right. You cannot stay in flight all the time. And so even when people are quote unquote on our sides, but they're always putting us into fight or flight, they're just as bad because it gives the same effect. Not everything is a crisis every single second. I know I keep going back to that Bondi moment, but that is a perfect example of a contrived fight flight. And how we knew it was contrived, because nothing came of it. She never even mentioned it again. No press conference, no arrest, no nothing. So why put us into fight flight? That is a textbook example of it, and it's not good. But you see it also, like I said, we see it with religion. We're going to see it a lot in these upcoming weeks when it comes to the faith. We see it with games. We see it with everything. Just pay attention to what everyone seems to be doing all at once. In Oblivion, says Kenobi, characters get that stat bonus based on gender as well. So that will not work with FU plays in Ord and body type 2, you get a bonus to charisma, etc. It makes zero sense. Yes, I think that's to what I was referring, but I didn't know what I was talking about. Thank you for clarifying that. I love playing poker. Yeah, poker is not a good game for me. I wonder why. I am the very not definition of poker face. Poker, I hardly even know her. Oh, wow. Poker on Saturday. Why? Why do you do this to me? Snorta Poopa says King Edward II of England died because of a hot poker game. Wow, you all are on fire today. Salty traveling seed. I've been an adrenaline supplement since the BS lockdown and the propaganda went into high gear. Absolutely recommend. Oh, thank you. Wait, did I say adrenal? Oh, it is adrenal. Adrenal supplement. All right, I might look into that. I have to stay cold turkey though, because otherwise it just upsets me. Said it once, said it twice. I'm going to say it again. If there's anything, if the people are not allowing their yes be yes or their no be no, then it's not good for you. Steek says, I take names. Wow. This is escalating quickly. If people virtue signal about how they are against the woke, etc., and suck up super chats for doing so, and then do a 180 later, my respect for them is gone. They get disrespect instead. It is unfortunate. Yeah, just pay attention, or it is selectively enforced. Lucky for me, I kind of learned early on. You mentioned poker. I left for 30 minutes and just win $147. Holy crud. You went to a poker table? Or is it online? Well done. Though, how much did you put in? That's the question. Okay, he's saying the name of it. At first, I was like, what the hell is that? Ashwagandha, safe use for 100 years, can buy at Walgreens, works like magic. Okay. Rachel Percy Art says, I've had to cut out people because they were constantly running in 100% stressed mode and it was affecting my mental health. Exactly. And again, did anything come of it? And they were like, they just riled me up for 24 hours only just to drop it like a rock. Or worse, say, oh, never mind. There's issues there. Long pause. You know, long pause is when I'm thinking of saying something very uncharitable. My birthday is in 2 weeks, Grant, says Steve Kenobi, referring to those $147. Mr. Grant Gregory I says, online, 9 hands, came back. I said 30 minutes because otherwise I sound like a degenerate. 30. Wow. Oh, yeah. Salty Traveling Sea says, Rachel Percy Art, look up adrenal overload, not making this up. A homeopath I know and trusted recommend is excellent. Yes. Also, keep in mind, a lot of these people are being paid to post the way they are. Paid unofficially in the sense of they get rewarded through certain things through their monetization on X, or sometimes literally paid. We found that out. People on our side too. It's everywhere. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it, and your credibility. People have lost their credibility. I don't trust them. There is a part of me that wonders if things were better when we genuinely didn't know, or we thought things were going to get different with the internet or social media, or we thought it was going to be different with our side. And it's like, no, it's the same. And it's bad for your mental health and your physical health. Archer Collins says adrenal overload sounds like a tribute band. Rachel Percy Art says, I need to because I have ridiculously fast triggering anxiety. Yes, I mean, me too. Well, I'm dumb enough that I believe if someone tells me to freak out, that there's a reason to freak out. So I guess because I wouldn't do that, I very naively think other people would not. So if you're telling me that we have an open rebellion in the state of New York in our FBI, and oh my gosh, we have till this time to do something about it, you need to see something happen immediately. Not silence, not disappearing, not curling my hair extensions and showing up on Fox News and not even mentioning it. That was my black pill, red pill moment. A poster poster child for the situation. Magnesium is also essential for stress management. Oh, yes, I take magnesium. Oh, and we have a $1 super chat. No message, but thank you. It is Mr. Grant Gregory. Thank you very much for the super chat. And for that, you, sir, get a rose, and I'll fix some music later. I don't know why it's not working. But thank you very much. Neuroportal Life Form says a certain person gets expensive super chats every time they go live. I'm like, how can they afford it? Oh, you mean how do? I'm assuming you mean how can the people who pay for them afford it? A little trick, once you see it, you can't unsee it. A lot of it gets laundered around. Like, people will super chat someone, and then that person will later super chat someone an equally large amount. Look for the large amounts. Some YouTubers get paid via super chats. Says no. Well, yes, that's exactly how it works. Especially if there's some sort of psyops, gay ops, whatever you want to call it, happening. That's how they get paid. I didn't pay the person, but the person just happens to always give this person a super chat. Oh no, here I go. I'm going to get scolded. Seek says, I keep telling Teresa to shut the hell up and call down all the time. I am quite toxic. Now, that is not true. You say it a lot nicer than that. You mainly tell me to quit letting it get to me. Totally. Rachel Perciart says in Neuroportal Life Form, I have a feeling I know exactly who you mean, and it is suspicious to me because I can't even send $1. Sorry, certain people every time. I hear the same names every time. Ah, yes, exactly. Oh, we have another super chat. The Neuroportal Life Form for $2 says, respect the grift splaining for tribute. Well, thank you. I'm getting that's my grift. You see, if you wanted to be cynical, I'm being grifty. I'm explaining grifting to grift. Woo! No, thank you. And I'm glad you appreciate it. It's just things that you see and things that I've fallen for, traps that I have fallen for. So we'll do the new one without the sound. I'll work out the sound. So thank you. Let's see. Raw kangaroo meat and water from a muddy hoof print. What the hell? Oh, it's in response to Steve Kenobi. Grant gave you more money than an Australian town spends on food for a week. Oh. Their Poyle says certain names get called out every time they stream and they send expensive super chats every time, $200. Yeah, I think maybe I read that already, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I read that in my head. You're correct. And who are the individuals? I'm just saying, pay attention. And maybe I don't want to say that to be mean. Maybe I'm just saying it also to be, don't get upset. Don't be feeling like, why don't I get that kind of support or something like that? Remember, it's all planned. It's all planned. Here we go. Steve's giving us advice. The trick to deal with doom and gloom is to ask yourself this: what is the worst that can happen, and how likely is the worst will happen? The later deflates the stress fast. True, except for the fact that what's the worst that can happen? Unfortunately, we've lived through the last 4 years, so we know. Miss T is rolling in cash today. Yes, I am. Well, thank you. I mean, I really do appreciate it, everyone. Nor Pearl says, I no longer send bigger channels any money. I send it to the underrated. Oh, well, thank you. After Wheel of Time says Nor Pearl Lifeform, I may do a reread of A Song of Ice and Fire despite it never finishing. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do a read of it. I have to keep stopping. Every time I think he's gonna be coming up with an announcement, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go back to reading these books again. It's gonna be the biggest fail in humanity. Because in a way, he's kind of already failed. Yes. But A Song of Ice and Fire, it's good. But oops. If it doesn't finish, it doesn't matter. Insert whatever naughty joke here you want to injure. Injure. Oh, wait, did I? Was that a Freudian slip? Oh, gosh, I'm just going to shut up. To be honest, says Archer Collins, that's one reason I tend to prefer smaller channels. Aw, the more chance of your comments being read without having to make a super chat. Yeah. Or you have to make a super chat of a certain amount. I am somewhat sympathetic to that if the amount of super chats that they get, if they were to read every single one, that would be like the whole stream. So I'm a little slightly more forgiving of that on the bigger channels than when a smaller channel actually doesn't read out the super chats. I've actually seen that happen. It's like, well, I don't want to interrupt the flow. And there's like 8 people in the chat. Nothing against that's me. Okay. I love those 8 people, but it's like, no, in general, if someone's paying you money, you better read, unless you've got thousands and thousands of people in the chat, and it would make it impractical. That's a thought about it. Rather, Rachel Percy says, I haven't touched a Song of Ice and Fire in a decade. Yeah, and I don't blame you. Why should you? If he's not going to respect us, we shouldn't respect him. But as I always say, if you're going to hit George R. R. Martin hard, hit him hard for something he's actually done, not for something that he hasn't done, not for some grifty people to make money. Check out Joe Abercrombie's First Law series, says Steve Kenobi. North Royal, 9 books so far, and a short story book. Yes. He's continuing to write, and he continues to come out with them regularly. Yes, they're talking about this. Excellent first book. Yes, Steve Kenobi says, I only did a super chat once, boomered it. If people need money or help, I help directly send them packages with goodies. Yes. Steve is totally right, says Salty Traveling Sea. It's a great series and a fun read. It is Obtuse Rubber Goose Green Moose. Wow, that is a very long name. Are you being coy by reading the super chat by MGG? I'm not sure what that means. Didn't you start with book 4? Maybe, I don't know. No, I got it, didn't I? Oh, shit. I thought that was the same one. I'm a horrible woman. Okay, I'm an asshole. Okay, but I'll tell you what I'm not saying. I'm not saying, well, Grant Gregory, I saw your super chat, but you're interrupting my stream. I am so sorry. I see the point. I don't want to say a boomer, because I definitely am not a boomer by age, but I'm sure a boomer by brain cells. Mr. Grant Gregory, my apologies. A Song of Ice and Fire gal, the tamer of the steed, you grifter. Yes, I'm a grifter. And for that, you, sir, get a rose and an apology. Thank you. Wow. Wait, did I lose people? Okay, First Law trilogy is on the Kindle. It's on the to-do book. Oh, dear. Yeah, stop taking him for granted, Teresa. I know I'm a horrible person. Oh, that's when he started with, I guess. Catholic cussing. Oh, dear. You are good, darling. Okay, thank you. Well, it's terrible. Terrible. I earned every bit of shade I will get from that. It gets better and better, Salty. Norporeal Lifeform says Catholics are the one denomination that are not afraid to cuss. Yes, but we will not break the second commandment. Thought you were doing a parody. Oh, no. I wish I was that clever. He had just done another one. And trust me, I appreciate all of them, Grant Gregory. I really do. Oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person. Audiobook is very well done. Okay, well, good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, so we talked about body piercings. We talked about Blackjack. We've talked about the Pope lying in state. Ignore everything. Remember, they are trying to demoralize you. And some part of me even wonders, do they think they can actually influence the Cardinals? Like, really? Let me see. Oh, hot no need. Zeke says, I only recommend stuff I would reread myself. Salty, I would vouch for every recommendation I dish out. That is true. He will. While we're doing that, definitely read The Wheel of Time. I'm still stuck in book 5. I am sorry. I should be reading faster, but things are happening. Can we please have something boring occur, please? I want something boring. Yeah, today I got Pilates in a few hours. Oh, I was gonna say I've been playing a lot of Red Dead, so I guess we could blame it on Red Dead Redemption. It's a very good game so far. And I have every reason to believe that it will continue to be a good game. The Royal Life Form says Miss Smart Muses is stuck in the circus part of. Oh yes, the circus in the TFOH. Okay, I saw it. At here we are for $2. It's $2 super chat from Mr. Greg Gregory AI. You're being a good sport. Well, thank you, and you are too. You are too, and for that, you sir get a rose. Here we are. I strongly recommend the Black Company. That is what Stieg is saying. I'm sorry, Salty Traveling Sea is saying to Stieg and saying, the Royal Life Form. Archer Collins says, I might be about to dive back into the Dragonlance books. Woo! See you in a couple of years. Those are so much fun. I've read the first 6 of them. I have the Black Company books, Salty. Haven't read them yet. And Salty Traveling Sea is recommending to Archer Collins The Dragons of Autumn. Twilight is such a good, comforting read. I know I want to go stay in that inn in the tree house. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, it has been nearly 2 hours. Well, hour and a half of live. If I'd have woken up in earlier and done better with that, I would be at 2 hours at this point. Time of the Twins, Tested Twins are great. Oh yeah, hell yeah. So he's read both the first trilogies and the anthologies. Yeah, I've got them all. I just haven't read them all. All right, let me see if Mrs. Dadman Walking is live or anyone else. Let me see. Because I do like to send people over. She is there. She's doing diamond painting. Oh, no. Is she done? Oh, no, she's not live. Oh, wait, she is live. She's just not doing diamond painting. Okay, so everyone, I'm going to put her link in here. Give her some support and some love. And one of these days, I'm going to figure out how to do a poll in here. I have not figured out how to do a poll. It's crazy. So let me see. Let's put the link in here so everyone go in there and give her some love. Give her some watch hours and super chats, all of that. We want to get her to 1,000. Great show, Teresa. Thanks. Well, thank you, Salty Traveling Sea. Downloaded some of the meeting and the prequels to read. Yes, take care, everyone. Wait. I didn't send the link. I was on automatic pilot. I sent the Rose and the Wave. Take care, every human. Yes, please do. There's the link, not the Rose and the Wave. I could call that a pub. That's what my pub will be called. Thank you, Snort Poopus Crew Burr. Thank you, Archer Collin. Thank you, Salty Traveling Sea, for the super sticker and for the thanks ones. Thank you, Mr. Grant Gregory, for the super chats and all of your nice thoughts. And well done with your gambling. Norporeal Lifeform, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for Obtuse Rubber Goose. Thank you for being here. Like, share, and subscribe early and often, please, everybody. Let's be happy and fun and nice people to each other. Rachel Percy Art, thank you for being here. Thank you. Let me see. Have I gotten everyone? I think I already said Snortopus. Oh, did I skip Stieg? I'm sorry. Thank you, Stieg, for being here. And all of your great advice, etc., etc., etc. If I missed anyone, it was not intentional. Things skip around. See, Kenobi says, you are to call me when the stream is done. Okay, I'm going to call you. Don't worry. I figured. Let's see. Happy Hump Day, says Archer Colin, and have a great day, the rest of you people. And everyone's saying some goodbyes and some final thoughts, etc., etc. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain to, let's see, play lots and lots of blackjack.